Hi there, Sandra here with a couple of hints and tips. Now, you may well be familiar with these brushes. They're very popular. They were originally designed as makeup brushes, but they're so soft and lovely. And the craft industry has kind of appropriated them. They're commonly used for doing blending techniques with ink pads, things of that nature. Now, I don't have that many good ink pads left these days, but I tend to use a gouache paint and do my blending with that most of the time. I've got a nice range of colours, I can mix and match, and it's quite easy to do. Now, the thing that you have to remember if you're going to do this is that you need to have just the tiniest little bit of moisture on your brush. Now, this can be water, or it can be a touch of glycerin. It just depends on the paper that you're using. Some papers take better to water, some papers take better to glycerin. And then you'll be able to do your colour blending. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know about that already. But what you may not have done is use this type of brush with a stencil. And this is the kind of result you can get. Very crisp, very clear, and you don't have things seeping underneath the stencil. I did this with a stencil which was not stuck down. It doesn't have an adhesive back. Excuse that drop there, that's where I dropped some water on it afterwards. But the majority of this is nice and clear. Now, the reason for that is because with this brush I can use paint straight from the tube and just apply it through my stencil, and because it's still relatively dry, it doesn't seep, but the colour goes exactly where I want it to go. So that's an excellent use for these brushes. Now, this happens to be one of the smaller ones. I've got them in bigger sizes as well, but if you're doing a stencil and you're not doing a big one, the smaller one is probably big enough. Now, the other thing that you probably haven't done with it is used it on a texture paste. Now, this one I got a couple of years ago from Lidl. It's one of their craft items that they sold at one stage. And this is a texture paste which has basically got some shine in it. You can't easily see it in the pot, but it's actually very pretty when it's on paper. So I put some colour down onto a piece of card, and then I use this type of brush with the stencil to get this lovely result here. And again, because you're using this type of brush and it's going through the stencil nicely, you end up with the proper detail that you should have. In the past, using a stencil with a texture paste, I've used something like this, or possibly a palette knife, and it's always a little bit iffy about whether you're going to get a clear one or not. But I found doing a few different experiments using the brush like this, much better, much cleaner result, much easier. Now, word of caution, if you're going to use an acrylic product with these brushes, you need to have water on your desk so you can put the brush in water as soon as you're finished, and you need to clean your brush properly afterwards. So that is the first tip today. The second one involves glitter, or indeed, if you happen to have it, embossing powder. Now, this is a pure white glitter, and this little pot here has got gold flecks in it. And I didn't buy a white glitter with gold flecks. All I did was put a little bit of glitter, just take a bit of glitter from this, there we are. It doesn't have to be white glitter, it could be another colour glitter. And I've got these flakes, so I just pick up a chunk and pop it in. Now, because this foil is really fragile, and because the glitter is stronger, it doesn't take much doing to really break that little faux metal sheet down into tiny little bits. And if you've got, like I've got, lots of these little containers, then you can stash it as a separate colour, and it means that you can have lots of different types of metallic glitters or metallic embossing colours. Now, the other thing that I've mentioned previously, but I will mention it again, if you have a white glitter like this and you have alcohol inks, you can tint your glitter. I have previously tinted glitter in all sorts of different colours, because if you've got the alcohol ink, it will adhere to the plastic of the glitter. And that means you get a lovely colour very, very easily. A couple of drops of alcohol ink and you can colour quite a lot of glitter with that. You can dilute it if you need to with more alcohol. Don't dilute it with water, do it with alcohol. If you don't have separate alcohol inks, you can still cheat. You can use your alcohol markers. You can basically mark up the inside of a clean container with your alcohol marker, add a few drops of alcohol in there and then dump your glitter in, and the effect will be the same. So if you want lots of different colours of glitter, then get a white one and tint it yourself. That's it for today. I hope you found it interesting, and I will see you again soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't, and leave your comments down below. Take care now.